Because all these deadly sins, each individual one is a kryptonite to a particular planet. And I'm going to tell you which ones they are and how that can affect you and how you can overcome these types of things. So, I'm going to start with lust. And lust affects Mercury. Mercury. The reason why lust affects Mercury the most is because Mercury is all about communication and the mind. And if lust overwhelms the desire in your mind, is if all you can think about is lust, you will not achieve anything. You will not do anything. All your focus will be on that one thing and nothing else. And your mind will basically never be free from the desire and the sin of lust. It's really simple. Envy. And I'm going to show you guys how you can actually help yourself in reality too when it comes to this stuff. It's very, very interesting. Envy is the sun. Now the sun, envy is also, jealousy and everything like that, but it's sadness too. Now the sun, the brightest thing that we can see in the sky, what is it to be envious of? It brings light, it brings excitement, it brings joy, it brings pleasure. Being envy, the sun envy doesn't correlate at all, and sadness as well, the sun, the sadness, this is, remember this is ruled by Leo, the sun. So, a Leo being sad is not the greatest Leo at all, to be honest with you. Gluttony, Jupiter. Now, Jupiter being the largest out there, it can be very gluttonous. It can be very, food, alcohol. Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, Pisces, Jupiter. This is bad for you. You can just become obsessed with food and alcohol, and this is gluttonous. This is going to be a sin for you. You're going to not have a good time. But I'm going to show you guys how this all relates to you individually very soon. Sloth, Venus. Laziness, Venus. Venus can be naturally lazy at times, sometimes, but when they are, you see that nothing gets done for them. You see that they're not at their best. You see that they don't produce what they need to do in life. This is the key for the Venus, laziness, untidiness. It's just sloppiness. It's not a Venus trait. They love beauty, elegance, wonderful things. It's not a Venus trait whatsoever, and it's a kryptonite. All of these are kryptonites. Lust is a kryptonite to Mercury. It will destroy Mercury if they're lustful. Envy will destroy the sun. Gluttony will destroy Jupiter. Sloth will destroy Venus. Greed, Saturn. Greed will destroy Saturn. We know Saturn is about control and everything like that. They have to control themselves. They have to limit themselves. So, this is about a planet about limitation. So if they become greedy, you can see why it goes the other side. It's just a deadly sin for them. It's a kryptonite for them. It will destroy them completely. Pride, the moon. The sun and the moon. Pride is about the sun. The sun has pride. The moon doesn't need that type of pride. Pride comes before the fall. The moon is a nurturer, a carer. How can they be thinking about themselves? And when they have so many people that look to them for that care and nurturing and guidance and understanding, the pride will be their fault, 100%. And wrath, obviously, it's obvious wrath. Anger, wrath. It's the same thing. Mars, ruled by Aries and Scorpio, wrath. When they display this too much, it becomes a problem for them. You know, it becomes a sin for them. Definitely, all these deadly sins are within these planets. 100%, they're within these planets. That's why there are traits of these planets. That's why they have to avoid it. But what's key? What is key to this? What is key to this is basically more than just the planets, because obviously we all have planets. These planets ruling us, should I say? But when you have you have to understand what rules it. What signs for Mercury is Virgo, Gemini. Yeah, the Sun is Leo. Jupiter, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Venus, Taurus, and Libra. Saturn, Capricorn, and Aquarius. The Moon, Cancer. And Mars, Aries, and Scorpio. Now, what does that mean for you? So, this is key for your rising sign and your sun sign. And I'm going to explain this very as simply as I possibly can. So, for example, Virgo, if your ascendant, yeah, or your sun sign is in Virgo, lust is your kryptonite. If your ascendant or your Mercury, if your ascendant or your sun sign is in Gemini, again, lust is your kryptonite. Because your ascendant determines your dominant planet. So your dominant planet will be Mercury if your ascendant is Virgo or Gemini. Your dominant planet will be Mercury, and lust could dominate your life if you allow it to. And your sun sign, obviously, which is your ego, which is your personality, so you have a very much a Mercury type of behavior. And if you have that, your sun sign in Virgo or Gemini, again, lust, you have to be able to control your lustful nature, because it's a sin for you and you will not prosper in the way you feel, in the way you want. You need to control that. It needs to be under wraps, under control, because Mercury is the thinkers, and you know your mind is your power. So if you're allowing your power to be controlled by lust, you're not going to achieve anything you want to achieve in life, and you're going to be controlled by lust. It's really simple. Envy, the sun, Leo. So if your ascendant or your sun sign is in Leo, you being envious, you allowing envy to control you, will just ruin your life, because you are the power. You have nothing to be envious of. You are the light, you know. You are the power. You are the force. You are the giver. Do you know what I mean? It's like the sun is the sun. There's no chance of anything being more shining than the sun, literally. And obviously, Leo's how they are too. They are bright and lively and effervescent and everything like that. So, you know, you don't have anything to be jealous of, envious of, nothing whatsoever. I mean, if you do become envious, this is your downfall. This is where your downfall comes. So, do not do that. Got any? Jupiter. So if your sun sign or ascendant is in Sagittarius or Pisces, sorry, I'm very ill. If you're Sagittarius or Pisces, sun sign or ascendant, you have to be careful of gluttony. Yeah. I'm just laughing because I'm actually laughing because I was on holiday. My ascendant is Sagittarius. I was on holiday and I was being very gluttonous, and now I'm ill. So I am the perfect example of that. Literally, it's the downfall, and can't allow it to hit you up, because I've been hit up. When you don't control what you're eating or drinking or whatever, when you don't control it, you will get. It's a sin for you. It's your kryptonite. It's your weakness. You will become weak. It's gonna happen 100%, whether you like it or not. That's why other people who don't have these placements can get away with it. But we all have good and bad. You see, it doesn't cover. Not everybody has all bad. Not everybody has all good. Sloth, Venus. So if your rising is in Taurus, or your sun sign is in Taurus, or your rising is in Libra, or your sun sign is in Libra, laziness. Laziness is not for you. I know naturally it can happen, but you have to find ways to get out of it, because it's just gonna hold you back. It's just gonna become a downward spiral of where this doesn't get done, that doesn't get done, and then nothing gets done, and then you procrastinate, and then you lose focus, etc., etc. This is just a spiral of badness, and you just start distracting yourself with things that you don't really need to do. You really need to focus on not lazy and being productive in life, and in your home life, in outside life, everywhere. It really covers everything about laziness. Like, it doesn't work for you. Things will not work out for you. If your sun sign or ascendant is in Taurus or Libra, it will not work out for you if you are lazy. If your ascendant or sun sign is in Capricorn or Aquarius, greed is your sin. Greed is your deadly sin. Okay? You know Aquarius are people persons. And Aquarius give in terms of their time, their energy. Obviously, we're talking about money here. Aquarius are givers. They want to help many, the unfortunate. They're there, that's what they're there for. Capricorn. We know Capricorn loves money, but they don't love money because they're greedy, but they do love money. But when a Capricorn is greedy and wants to hold on to their money and not do anything, that's when they start to feel the sadness. That's when they start to feel the depression. That's when they start to feel the anxiety, the pressure, all of this stuff. It doesn't work out for a Capricorn. Because greed is ruled by Saturn. Greed is Saturn's deadly sin, and Saturn is ruled by Capricorn and Aquarius. So that's why Saturn and greed is not for rising and sun sign Capricorn and Aquarius. Aquarius will, when they're greedy, with money specifically, that like loneliness, or that like that feeling of like doing stuff and excitement and innovative and their uniqueness, because they're just being so tight with it, they can't really express themselves into their natural selves, because the greed is just controlling them, and they cannot. Aquarius is about information and people. They cannot do that because they're so thinking about money all the time. It just limits their spirit in some way. This is an interesting one with Pride and the Moon and Cancer. Like, we know Cancer's sun sign ascendant. Yeah, Cancer sun sign ascendant. When they have too much pride, it's like they're not humble. It's like they're not ready to just be humble and be thankful and just be humble. This is the thing with when you find a sun sign or ascendant Cancer that is not humble, the fall is gonna hit them hard. It's gonna hit them so unexpectedly. They're never even gonna imagine what happens, because they have to be the person who has to humble themselves and give and nurture and help and be that. The people look to these ascendant and sun signs as people who are actually like father figures and mother figures. And how can someone with all this ego and pride, even consider helping someone who's in need of their, some sort of support or care or understanding, or just someone to listen to. Their pride will not allow them to. And they actually need that type of connection with people. They feel they get fulfilled with these types of connections. So do not have this pride, this ego. Be humble, humility. Wrath. Mars, Aries, Scorpio. In the ascendant or in the sun sign. Now, Aries can obviously display these massive signs of anger. They do tend to normally cool off, but I think too much of it, too much of, trying to get people back, too much of all of that type of energy, it's never going to work out for them, because they need to be like focused on what they need to do. They can't be focusing on what other people are doing. Okay, they need to focus on them. So Wrath is taking the focus away from their stuff and doing their thing and bettering their stuff, and the Aries focusing on others. This is not an Aries style. So this is why it's a deadly sin, because they just lose themselves. Because Aries is ultimately the self, and Wrath is ultimately focusing on someone else. Stop focusing on yourself and stop focusing on someone else and on yourself. And obviously Scorpio, we know Scorpio. We know, if you're a sun sign or ascendant, we know that you want the Wrath thing is very much part of your makeup. We know that, okay? We know it, and I think it's probably the hardest challenge for the Scorpio in terms of letting go, in terms of, this person did this to me, they must feel my wrath. I must get them back. I must have my revenge. We know that the Scorpio has these types of things in their mind, but I know Scorpios who don't do that. And they actually, they actually have some peace. They have peace. They have other things that they focus on in terms of, that type of energy. That, and it's not like a wrath type of energy. It's just like this, ultimate desire, because, Mars is about desire and action. And, the wrath, the action of wrath is just a kind of a waste of energy for Scorpios and Aries. It's wasting your energy where you could use that energy, channel that energy into something more productive or more, something that you can achieve and you can be proud of. Why just be trying to focus on trying to get someone back or it's not going to actually make you feel any better. And what actually happens is it actually debilitates you. This is why it's your sin, because it debilitates your energy. It debilitates it, and you're actually not like you're not going to be connected to your higher self. You're always going to stay in this lower level. You're going to stay in this lower level if you continue to perform these acts of revenge. You're never going to ascend. And regardless of if you think the person deserves it or not, we know that there is laws of karma. Every action has a equal and opposite reaction. So regardless, if you think that you have to take action yourselves, because Mars is about action, Wrath is an action. If Aries, Sun sign ascendant, Scorpio, Sun sign ascendant, if you believe you have to take action yourself, your actions will just be backfiring on yourself, and you'll be in this revolving this circle of wrath where you keep getting it, and then you keep giving it back, but because you keep giving it back, that's why you keep getting it. It's just a circle of wrath. That's what you're going to be involved in if your sun sign and ascendant is Aries or Scorpio. So let karma deal with the other person. I know some people may feel like karma, what does that mean, whatever, but every action has an equal and opposite reaction. That's all you need to understand. Don't let this debilitate you. Don't let the wrath debilitate you. So I hope you guys understood that. It was a bit complicated. I might do another video on this because it is a little bit complex. But as long as you can understand that if you're any of these signs in your ascendant or your sun sign, you will understand the planet and you'll understand its sin. So avoid at all costs to not debilitate